Social media is simultaneously an amplifier of one's true nature and a mixture of different social media presences, creating a false representation of the individual using the platform. Hello, my name is Serene, or Cece for short, and today I will be talking about social media and its deeply rooted effects in society's behavior and values. Today, I'll be separating social media into three separate categories. Number 1, aesthetics and vanity. Number 2, hypermaterialism. And number 3, encouragement of ignorance and the incognito. Number 1, aesthetics and vanity. Naturally, when we believe of social media, we think of aesthetics and what is pleasing to the eye. The pressure to wanting to fit in, quoted from Patrick Bateman by American Psycho. Although this is a fictional character and a very muddied antagonist, we tend to notice the effects of society within that particular show, and that would be upper class ignorance, everyone in their own bubble, the self-absorption of the media and what is portrayed to be good and bad, so on and so forth. The appeasing nature also comes from the hypersexualization of both men and women. In social media, we tend to hyperfixate and glorify bare skin, nice bodies, what's considered to be attractive, what's considered to be ugly, and setting those expectations already on a media that is mostly made up on pictures and a lens through what people want to see through others. It just creates a false sense of representation of the individual itself, and therefore creating the hypersexualization of both sexes. So these topics naturally build into my next point, hypermaterialism. We have now grown as a society where materials are valued as idols, and we've completely lost touch with meaningful ideas and genuine relationships. According to PR Newswire, 86% of consumers believe that wearing name brands boosts their mood, and 45% of Gen Z is more likely to cite the desire to comfortably afford material items as a motivator for financial success. Now, doing my research, I found very disturbing statistics about younger generations, especially our generation, Gen Z, and it was more likely for 20% to care about their credit score, whereas 86% of consumers want to wear and purchase material items as a sort of self-worth. And the obsession of obtaining the hottest trend or prioritizing the need to fit in, tying back into my first point, aesthetics and vanity, financially dooms younger generations. Even we can pull in our holidays, and we could say the symbolism of Christmas has completely lost meaning in today's society, primarily concerning about the possession of depreciating items and hyperfixation of materials rather than the holiday itself, which is normally celebration of Jesus Christ, if you're more so on the spiritual end, or just hanging out with family and valuing experiences rather than what are we getting for Christmas. As we transition into my third and final point of the negative impacts of social media, it has the encouragement of ignorance and the incognito. So this point is very vital and very pivotal to my argument, and it would be the vagueness of intentions from social media posts, stories are deceiving in nature and create odd tensions with people. And it also reinforces ignorant statements and ignorant actions seen on social media. For instance, we have misogynistic comments. I'm sure most people are familiar with Andrew Tate and his fan base. Most people see him as a common W, quote unquote, or a very wealthy and successful man. Others might see him as a misogynistic control freak. Quote from random anonymous user. But as we go into more examples, we can also use Logan Paul's Suicide Forest video, which had gotten taken down, was made was posted 2018, 2019-ish, and got, of course, due to the ignorance of showing a dead body on film being hung in the forest, the video was taken down, and it just further encourages fan bases to just enable that ignorance that social media influencers have. These are my primary points on social media, just to emphasize the impacts of it. And although I've mentioned more so negative impacts of social media, I would want to highlight some approaches to healthier social media life as well. To begin, just to focus more on the positive side of social media, as it is not all bad. We can genuinely learn certain things from the medias we consume on a day-to-day basis. So, for instance, take a break from social media. If it causes more stress, just remove it. Take a fast, a detox, and focus more on like your life at hand, more goals perhaps, or short-term goals that you may have. And social media can be helpful and less draining, also depending on your algorithm. So if you're feeding into more so negative consuming like news, that's what's happening around you, you're going to feel more tense, you're going to feel more drained, more unmotivated. And the saying ignorance is bliss goes a long way in the case of social media, where it is very important to just preserve your sense of peace. And just to preserve your sense of peace and your social welfare. So this concludes my social media video analysis. But I'm going to be moving on to some interviews I had with some real life examples of people that I know and see in my school. And I will further on hand it to past Cece interviewing some folks. It's Cece, and what is your name?
My name is Diallo.
All right, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions about social media and what you think about it.
Sure.
So, are you on social media, and why are you on social media?
Yes, I'm on social media. I'm on social media because it's a great way to keep in touch with friends, family, and also just keep in touch with everything happening around us.
Okay, that's cool. What social media site do you use the most?
I think it's Instagram is what I use the most. It's the only thing I use.
Oh, okay. And do you feel like...
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, okay. Yeah. And do you feel like social media has damaged younger generations or has benefited younger generations?
I think it's a bit of 50-50, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it has done some great things for this generation in terms of just increasing their exposure to things around their community, in terms of creating a platform upon which they can spread ideas among each other. I think in that sense it's been beneficial. But I think it has also hindered some of their development. Simply because I don't think everybody's equipped with the necessary filter to decipher information, precisely to decipher accurate information versus propaganda and so forth. Okay.
What would you say, what have you noticed are two negative trends or aspects of social media?
For the youth or as a whole?
Youth as a whole, however you interpret it.
Okay. So, as a whole, I think something very terrible is happening in America because of social media platform. I think because of the algorithms of social medias, it's very easy to be like just almost like living in your own world, in your own cave. Through algorithms, you are only exposed to ideas that are aligned with yours.
Right.
So you in a way, that's the irony. Despite being a global platform, I feel like today, folks have never been as isolated. As a whole, as a community, I think social media has isolated us more, and that is problematic if we aspire to be a democracy.
Would you say that like are they more focused in class or more?
Sorry about this.
You're fine. But what would you say the behavior in younger generations is with like influence on social media?
Again, it's bittersweet, you know. I've seen fights start because of social media. I've lost students because of social media beef, you know. It seems to me that social media almost has this power to turbocharge anything good or anything bad.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Diallo.
Anytime.
This is Cece, and I'm going to be interviewing you on social media. So, what's your name?
My name is Silas Alamayu.
Okay, nice to meet you, Silas. Even
We
though
already know each other.
Okay. All right. So, why are you on social media?
Why am I on social media? Social media for me is just the best way to keep up with people. And it's also like it's used for comical reasons because when I hop on social media, I usually find things funny. A lot of people post a lot of funny things. And there are some things that make me happy. So it's like a newspaper for me, looking at things that I like to see, looking at things that I'm interested in, and it's very accessible.
Why would you? What social media site would you say you use the most?
TikTok.
Why would you say TikTok?
TikTok, like I said, it's just very accessible. People who post things on TikTok are very funny. It's just the better site. It just feels so much better than all the other sites. Like, yeah, that's kind of why I use TikTok.
Would you say that's because of like your algorithm, like what you like and the repetition of likes on what type of topics you like to hear about, such as comedy?
Yes, definitely. I can find something faster. Like, I feel as though TikTok really knows me. Like, I can really find something that I genuinely like on TikTok than I would on any other social media app.
Do you feel like social media has damaged our generation and younger generations?
No, social media has not damaged our generation. I think no matter what has happened to any past or previous generation, you have to be responsible. I wouldn't blame something like that on social media.
Okay. And do you feel like people use social media as a means to compete with each other?
Yes, they do. And it's just, I feel as though it's ridiculous, and not necessarily compete, but to compare. I really think people let what they see on social media affect the way they view themselves when it's not supposed to be that deep or that serious.
What are two positive aspects of social media that you find?
Girl, the funny videos and the fact that you can meet and connect with people, and y'all like media has bridged the gap when it comes to building connections.
And what two negative effects of social media have you found?
Dumb people. No, I'm kidding. People. Because there are people who are kind of like not very open-minded, and with social media, I feel as though you're going to be meeting a lot of different people, so you got to stay open-minded.
And those were the conclusion of my interviews. Thank you again so much for listening to my video essay on social media and its both positive and negative impacts. You not only get to hear it from me, but you got to hear it from my peers, my teachers, and I hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope to do some future video essays as I just genuinely like listening to them and making them, of course. But no, that gigabyte data is definitely destroyed my computer. But I hope everyone has an amazing day. Thank you again so much for listening.